Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to another video. It's the O-Dog here. Today will be my first ever MLB talk video. Now, I know that this seems a bit unusual for me to be doing this. And also, I just want to say, before I make this video, I'm a Blue Jays fan. A hardcore Toronto Blue Jays fan. Of course, I live in Canada, so that's why hardcore Toronto Blue Jays fan. No other team. I don't give a crap about any other team. So what this day is going to be the biggest news, biggest trade, biggest pitching move of the decade for the Toronto Blue Jays. Okay? This will be the number one ace in the last 20 years for the Toronto Blue Jays, other besides Roy Halladay. Yeah. So this will probably be a kick for the Blue Jays to get into the postseason. I personally think they're going to make the wild card this year easily. I mean, Boston's pretty much got no pitching. But today, the Toronto Blue Jays have just signed Hyun-Jin for a 4-year, $80 million deal. It is insane. So that means he is getting paid $20 million per year for the Toronto Blue Jays. That is one of the biggest contracts we have done in the last 20 years. The Toronto Blue Jays are typically a cheap team. I mean, not as cheap as just the Oakland A's, but the front office last year and the last, 3 years have been trash. We didn't get rid of Donaldson soon enough. We could have got a whole lot of guys we just got some prospects that haven't even made their MLB debut yet. The Marcus Stroman trade was amazing, but unfortunately, a lot of those guys aren't even ready to come up yet. And, the front office has just sucked. We haven't made some good trades. We should have got rid of Troy Tulowitzki at the end of 2016 when we had the chance. We didn't, and then we pretty much got screwed out of it because we had to wait till he got injured, out of the contract. Yankees signed him, and then we had to pay for him. The front office has sucked. We have not made a lot of good moves. But this season has actually been really good. I mean, we got Chase Anderson and Tanner Rourke from the Oakland A's. I mean, it is just the front office this season. I have to say, I have to give them a lot of credit. They're doing a lot for their pitching. And, I mean, they just signed Travis Shaw yesterday. And they're at least starting to add some little pieces to the offense. But Ross Atkins said at the end of last year, they're going to make some big pitching moves. I never thought that they would actually go over the $30 million mark because they were such a cheap team. But we just made a huge commitment to Hyun-Jin. So what are my opinions? I think he's a great pitcher. I've watched him in the World Series with the Dodgers. He's a great pitcher by far. Do I think that we are overpaying him? That is something I am struggling about because, one, the Dodgers probably would have paid him more if he re-signed with them. But on the other hand, what other money do we have at the deadline? We pretty much got no money for at the deadline next year. So if the first half goes decent, if we're just about 500 and we're almost in that wild card spot, and yet some other stupid team like the Rays is just barely ahead of us, what are we going to do? We're just going to be right behind the Rays. We're almost going to be at that wild card spot. We're going to have no money for the deadline after this. But on the other hand, the Dodgers probably would have got screwed out of it too. However, the Dodgers are a richer team. So my opinions on this are very mixed on if we overpaid him. But do I think that it's worth it? Still confused, but I do think that he is a great pitcher by far. I have no regrets of this signing. I don't think that he is worth that much. But on the other hand, it's the Dodgers who would have probably signed him for more. So I can't decide, but I think this is a good move. Do I think the Toronto Blue Jays have a chance at the wild card next year if we can get a number one 5-man starter? So I don't mean a Max Scherzer 5-man starter. I just mean a guy who's a familiar name. Even at a number 5 man in the order, you still need to have a good pitcher. Trent Thornton, in my mind, is not going to do that. TJ Zoic is not going to do that. Anthony Kay is not going to do that. We need so the Blue Jays have had a big interest in David Price. A lot of people have known that. but he would be the number one 5-man starter. And then we also got that Japanese guy. Here's the way I think it's going to go now. I don't know the name of the Japanese guy. I am so sorry. This has sounded so racist. But it is going to go, in my mind, Hyun-Jin Ryu. It is going to go Chase Anderson, Matt Shoemaker, the Japanese guy, and David Price. If that were to be the rotation, we would have one of the best starting rotations in baseball. Like the Houston Astros last year. If it was combined just like that. Just like that. Like, it would be the best. And yeah, if we have good starting pitching that can pitch long into the game, that crappy bullpen will make up for it, because we got a lot of good bullpen prospects coming up next year. So I think the Blue Jays will have a pretty good pitching rotation. Now the outfielders do need a bit of help, because Randall Grichuk is the best hitter in the lineup right now. He had the most home runs last year, best RBI. It's like he was the number one man. You got Lourdes Gurriel Jr. in left field. Center field is still up for grabs, because you got Anthony Alford, Billy McKinney, Derek Fisher. I don't want to say his name because, one, hit in the face if you don't remember that. He's the worst defensive outfielder I've ever seen wearing a Major League Baseball uniform. That guy's a terrible defenseman, I have to say. He's just so bad. So, yeah, center field is up for grabs still. You need to get, like, I think what the Blue Jays have to do, is get a center fielder. And probably trade Luke Maile for a catcher. A prospect catcher, because one, Luke Maile cannot stay healthy, and number two, can he even hit, really? I mean, he's a great defender, but he can't even hit. That's what I think of this video. Make sure to leave a like on this video. That's the best way to show your support to the channel. Make sure you subscribe if you're new. If you enjoy this content for baseball, vlogs, adventure, action, films, this is the place to be, right here on ODog Vlogs, and this will soon be changed into ODog Baseball, so stay tuned for that change. And also, leave a comment down below. I want to know your opinions on this signing in Major League Baseball. I want your opinions on Major League Baseball and how this offseason is going, as a lot of changes have been made. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.